Feilu Novel Network exclusive contract novel. Honghuang. Yao Shou La, Imminent Duozi Duofu. Yao Shou La, crossing Nuwa at the beginning, awakening the Duozi Duofu system. What should we do? Do we have to be? To have children? At this moment, Nuwa was foolish. Others travel through time. Either it is Sanqing, protected by the remnants of Pangu, with strong luck. Either it is Hongjun, who directly blessed the beginning with the heavenly way and became the ancestor of all worlds. Even worse, becoming the two saints of the West, although a bit shameless, can at least prove the way and become a saint. But in my own words, isn't this a safe weakness? Fortunately, as the Virgin Mary, Nuwa was able to create humans by kneading earth. If it doesn't work, then we can only find a few women to help. Xiwangmu, Xuanming, Houtu, Xihe, Changxi, I don't know if they can have children or not. Traditional flood and wilderness texts, semi-invincible upgraded texts, people like to read posts, come and take a look. Feilu Novel Network reminds you that this novel and its characters are purely fictional. If there are any similarities, they are purely coincidental and should not be imitated. Chapter 1. Nuwa, start with many children and blessings, from. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 1. Nuwa, have many children and many blessings at the beginning, and produce and sell myself. In the wilderness, not around the mountains. As the pinnacle of the wilderness, the entire Mount Buzhou occupies a vast area, and it is impossible to fully capture its full view with the naked eye. The clouds below the mountain hang low, the trees are lush, and there are many naturally formed caves. In a certain cave, Nuwa had not yet recovered from the shock. The memories in her mind kept churning, making Nuwa even more shocked. I actually traveled through time and became Nuwa. One of the saints. The Taoist ancestor sits down and personally passes on one of his disciples. Are you even the creator of the human race? Nuwa murmured to herself, with two memories constantly colliding and merging in her mind. She couldn't distinguish whether she had traveled through time and become the person Nuwa. It was still Nuwa who fused the memories of the so-called traveler. It's okay. Anyway, I'm still me. Nuwa's eyes flickered, not dwelling on this point, and she cared more about what was recorded in her memory than about her own state. According to memory, the current flood and famine are in the early stages of the Dragon Han Cataclysm. The three ethnic groups are constantly breeding conflicts, but it is not yet time to go all out and fight to the death. At this point, Luo Yan and Hongjun may not even have started their layout. If I follow what is recorded in my memory, I can apprentice to Hongjun. Then, by crafting clay to prove the sanctity of the Tao. Nuwa sighed in her heart. This can indeed help her become a saint in peace. Is it possible for her to embark on a new path as she now holds control over many things that will happen in the future? Moreover, Hongjun is not a good person either. Not to mention that Hongjun himself is a reincarnation of chaotic gods and demons. Hongjun himself is a person with extremely strong conspiracy methods. Otherwise, it would be impossible to plan against the chaotic demon gods such as Luo Yan, and ultimately take charge of the heavenly way and become its spokesperson. There were also many conspiracy theories about Hongjun in later generations, which made Nuwa constantly wary. Hongjun became the spokesperson of the heavenly way and became a saint through his own preaching. Take the opportunity of the heavenly way of harmony to achieve a higher realm. The Hongmeng purple qi that was distributed was only for the purpose of recruiting the saints of the heavenly way and enhancing the power of the heavenly way. And once you become a saint of the heavenly way, although you have the ability to never die, you will be restricted by the heavenly way. Nuwa shook her head slightly, if she hadn't practiced the method of becoming a saint through preaching. Learning from Hongjun is definitely the only way. A peaceful and stable path to enlightenment would be impossible for any innate superpower to refuse. But what she wants to achieve more than the heavenly way sage is the Hunyuan Daoyuo golden immortal. Although the Hunyuan Daoyuo Golden Immortal cannot be much stronger than the Heavenly Way Sage. But victory lies in freedom. The most joyful thing is for those who practice to be carefree in the world. However, the difficulty of proving the Tao is too high for the mixed Yuan de Luo Jingxian, and she does not know the method of proving the Tao, which is actually a difficult problem. Without learning from Hongjun, relying solely on myself may make it very difficult to become a saint. Nyuwa frowned at the thought. Hongmeng Purple Qi is the foundation of becoming a saint. If she doesn't learn from Hongjun, where will she get Hongmeng Purple Qi? Can't we take action against Hongyun? If you can't become a puppet of the heavenly way, you have to find a way to prove the Tao of the Hunyuan Daoyuo Jingxian. Where should we start? Nyuwa pondered on her face, constantly searching for methods in her memory. Ding. Host detected. The Duozi Duofu system is currently being bound. Bind 40%. 60%. 99%. Binding successful, please check by yourself. Just as Nyuwa was troubled, a voice suddenly rang out in her mind. This surprised her completely. Golden finger. Isn't this your own golden finger? Great. She is still worried about how to become a saint without relying on Hongjun, isn't the opportunity here? Nyuwa quickly checked the introduction of Duozi Duofu, which was very simple and only consisted of one sentence. The more offspring, the more rewards. Upon seeing this, Nyuwa was ecstatic in her heart, no wonder the system fell on her head. If this were to be replaced by other innate powers in the wilderness, it would probably be either 3,000 beauties or 3,000 handsome men. Only she, Nyuwa, can't use these at all. Because she practices the path of creation, she is destined to create the human race in the future. That entire race can all be considered her descendants. So, isn't she taking off in minutes? The innate human race has 3,000 people. With 3,000 children, I can get a wave of fat. Not to mention that after the development of the human race, there will be endless descendants. When the human race becomes the protagonist of the vast world, wouldn't I be invincible directly? Nyuwa thought that her eyes were full of sparkling light. But before that, creating a human race is the key to achieving enlightenment and sanctification. Do you have to pretend to be a disciple of Hongjun first and get Hongmeng Purple Qi first? Nyuwa frowned, it was not a good thing to have a relationship with Hongjun. Not to mention that Hongjuan's cultivation is definitely above hers, it's not easy to make small moves. Ding. Congratulations to the host for obtaining the beginner gift pack. Is it enabled? The corner of Nyuwa's mouth lifted, but she had forgotten about it. Hurriedly said, open. Buzz. A mysterious movement suddenly appeared in my mind, and in the next moment, several light clusters appeared in front of me. Looking for flowers, looking for evaluation tickets. If you like it, please provide some data so that the author knows how to add updates. Thank you. Chapter 2. Humanistic Scriptures. Buzhou Mountain Map. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 2. Humanistic Scriptures. Buzhou Mountain Map. When the light in front of her disappeared, two treasures appeared in front of Nyuwa. One of them is the map of Buzhou Mountain, which is filled with mysterious spiritual accumulation, and many places in Buzhou Mountain are all displayed in the map. Where there are treasures, where there are heavenly and earthly treasures, as long as there is a map, it can be seen at a glance. It can be said that with this map, Mount Buzhou will become the treasure trove of Nyuwa. Buzhou Mountain is the pillar of Optimus Prime, with the terrifying pressure of Pangu on it, so few creatures can step on it. This map of Mount Buzhou contains mystery, which can make me immune to the pressure of Pangu. When I have enough cultivation, I will go to Mount Buzhou. Nyuwa's beautiful eyes flickered, and she wanted to immediately go to Buzhou Mountain to search for treasures. But now is not the time. Because she has just transformed and hasn't been around for long. Apart from the map of Mount Buzhou, another treasure is the humanistic scripture. This human scripture is related to humanity, and after practicing, one can appreciate the power of humanity. The stronger the humanity, the stronger the power of the human scriptures. For Nyuwa, this is the most suitable cultivation method for her. It is only a matter of time before she can create a human race to govern humanity, as she already aligns with the Tao of creation. With the presence of human scriptures, perhaps this process can be accelerated. Humanistic scriptures, after practicing, wield the power of humanity. Perhaps I can create the human race in advance. Nyuwa felt a little excited in her heart, and she had a premonition that the humanistic scriptures were very important to her. Without any hesitation, she immediately began to directly comprehend the humanistic scriptures. Buzz. The humanistic scriptures are constantly manifesting billions of mysteries in her mind, and Nyuwa's mastery of the humanistic scriptures is also constantly improving. The two were already compatible, so it didn't take her long to successfully grasp them. She was also able to comprehend the many mysteries of the human scriptures even more deeply. Boom boom. Not long after practicing, Nyuwa suddenly felt that she had broken through some kind of shackles, and at the same time, the cultivation of the Luo Jingxian was completely stabilized. 3 golden flowers condensed from her head, and one of them shone brightly. This represents that Nyuwa has reached the early stage of the great Luo Golden Immortal. And it's also the kind with a stable cultivation. This surprised Nyuwa even more. The human scriptures are truly mysterious. I'm afraid it's not inferior to many top-notch techniques in the wilderness. Of course, the most important thing is that she is in perfect harmony with the human scriptures. Otherwise, I wouldn't have broken through my cultivation so quickly. With both hands pinching the formula, Nyuwa continued to comprehend the mystery of the human scripture. It's just a breakthrough in cultivation, it's not the entirety of the humanistic scripture. What she values more is the power of humanity. If she could grasp the power of humanity in advance through the Humanity Sutra, that would be the most important thing for her. It also gives her the potential and foundation to lead other innate abilities. I don't know how long I have been practicing, but Nyuwa's cultivation is still constantly improving, but there has been no breakthrough. She had vaguely sensed a hint of human power, but for a while she couldn't comprehend it. Boom boom. At this moment, a spiritual storm suddenly emerged in the entire cave, and the vast spiritual energy of heaven and earth flowed into Nyuwa's body like a tide. This instantly accelerated the progress of Nyuwa's cultivation. At the same time, the trace of human power that had never been captured also appeared in Nyuwa's eyes. Buzz. Thousands of mysteries lingered around her body, and Nyuwa's eyes were deep and vast, successfully grasping a trace of human power. Even if there was only a trace, it took her understanding of the human scriptures to the next level. Her cultivation here is constantly improving, taking her thousands of miles a day. On the other side, Fuxi looked bewildered. What was the situation? That spiritual storm was actually caused by my little sister's cultivation. Has it been difficult for me to break through my cultivation? Little sister's cultivation talent is so amazing. Although she had only recently taken shape, she naturally made a breakthrough. Fuxi was shocked in his heart, as their siblings were clearly formed together. Cultivation is the same. Now Nyuwa has achieved a breakthrough in cultivation, and her realm has surpassed him. Being able to break through so quickly indicates that Nyuwa's cultivation talent is also above him. Thinking of Fuxi couldn't help but feel a bit depressed. Shouldn't I keep falling behind in the future? What will be the face of my elder brother then? No way. I also need to work hard to cultivate. I can't be left too far behind by my little sister. Fuxi secretly made up his mind and placed his palms on his legs, beginning to practice seriously. The cave became quiet again. Only countless spiritual accumulations vibrate incessantly. In an instant, thousands of years passed, and Nyuwa never stopped practicing. The spiritual power surrounding her has never stopped, and her cultivation has been continuously improving for thousands of years. Buzz! A roar echoed through her body, and Nyuwa opened her eyes shining brightly. Her cultivation has once again achieved a breakthrough, reaching the middle stage of the Great Luo Golden Immortal. Breaking through a small realm in 1,000 years. This kind of cultivation speed can be said to be shocking. And this has not yet reached the upper limit of the Humanity Manual, which means her cultivation can continue to improve. Thinking of this, she continued to practice the Humanity Sutra with her eyes closed. Looking for flowers, looking for evaluation tickets. If you like it, please provide some data so that the author knows how to add updates. Thank you. Chapter 3. Great Increase in Cultivation. De Luo Jin Xian Late Stage. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 3. Great Increase in Cultivation. De Luo Jin Xian Late Stage. In the cave, Nyuwa's cultivation is constantly improving. Thousands of years have passed in an instant. The spiritual energy of heaven and earth around Nyuwa's body transformed into a vortex, which revolved around herself and continued to spiral. Suddenly, the vortex trembled slightly and turned into countless spiritual powers that flooded into her body. At this moment, a powerful momentum rose from Nyuwa, representing another breakthrough in her cultivation. Breaking through to the later stage of the Luo Jin Xian in one breath. Nyuwa was very happy in her heart and stopped continuing her practice of the Humanity Sutra. Breaking through to the late stage of the De Luo Golden Immortal in 10,000 years, it takes too much time to continue to break through. With her current cultivation, she is already ahead of other innate abilities. You can temporarily slow down the progress. Although the power of humanity has only been grasped at a slight level, it is already sufficient. The potential of the Humanity Manual is extremely terrifying. It can definitely allow me to cultivate to the Hunyuan Daluo Golden Immortal. When the time comes, find a way to fully awaken humanity, and I can become the ancestor of humanity. At that time, there will be opportunities to unify the chaos, so there is no need to worry about Hongjun. Nyuwa thought of a gleam in her eyes. Hongjun has mastered the heavenly way, and the three realms of heaven, earth, and humanity have equal karmic positions. That is to say, the heavenly way is not stronger than humanity. The power and potential of both are the same. As long as Nyuwa can successfully master humanity, she can compete with Hongjun. Not afraid of any threat from Hongjun at all. If there were no golden fingers, learning from Hongjun would not be a way out. At least Nyuwa can successfully preach and become a saint, possessing the ability to dominate her own destiny. But now she has golden fingers, and even more incredible martial arts like the Humanity Manual. Humanity is destined to be in her hands, and she also has the hope of becoming the ancestor of humanity. In this way, she definitely doesn't want to bow down to Hongjun anymore. Moreover, the limitations of the Heavenly Way Sage are too great. It is easy for Hongjun to treat it as a chess piece in his hand for calculation. So Nyuwa definitely wouldn't choose this path. I not only have the humanistic scriptures in my hands, but also the map of Mount Buzhou. This item allows me to explore Mount Buzhou. Maybe I can obtain some precious treasures. I will have a stronger foundation then. Nyuwa thought to herself that she was ready to search for the items needed to create humans in advance. Prepare those things first, and when the time comes, it's time for her to create people. Even now, it is not possible to directly make her preach and become a saint. She can also gain more benefits by creating offspring. As long as there are more artificial beings, there is no need to worry about not achieving the Hunyuan Daluo Golden Immortal. After Nyuwa finished her practice, Fushi also felt something in her heart and opened her eyes. It's just a very complicated expression. It was impossible for Fushi not to feel such a big commotion just now. He has been practicing very hard, but after thousands of years, he still hasn't broken through to the middle stage of the Great Luo Golden Immortal. On the other hand, Nyuwa has already reached the cultivation level of the later stage of the Luo Jin Xian. It can be said that the gap between siblings is getting bigger and bigger. Sigh. Fu Shi sighed in his heart, but he felt genuinely happy for Nuwa's improvement in cultivation. Arched her hand and congratulated, "Congratulations to my younger sister for breaking through her cultivation again. With your current cultivation level, I'm afraid you're already far ahead of the innate abilities in the world." Nuwa shook her head slightly. Her cultivation was indeed stronger than other great abilities. But now it's the three tribes period. Most of the true powerhouses are among the three tribes, and the Luo Jin Xian is not worth looking at. To travel smoothly in the current wilderness, one must at least have the cultivation of Hunyuan Jingxian. To compete with chaos demon gods such as Hongjun, one needs to cultivate in the later stage of the Hunyuan Golden Immortal. Seeing Nuwa shaking his head, Fu Shi felt somewhat helpless. "Are you still dissatisfied with the amazing speed of cultivation?" asked the question. Nuwa smiled and said, "I don't think it's because of the speed of cultivation, but because I feel that the cultivation of the Luo Jin Xian is not enough. If you want to be carefree in the wilderness, at least you need to be a Hunyuan Golden Immortal." Fu Shi's eyes widened slightly. If he remembered correctly, the two of them should have only been able to transform for a short time, right? The rigid transformation between heaven and earth is the great power of the great Luo Golden Immortal, which is not much. And Nuwa is already thinking of breaking through the Hunyuan Golden Immortal. Is this progress a bit too fast? The Hunyuan Golden Immortal is not so easy to break through. But with your cultivation speed, little sister, it shouldn't be long. Fu Shi said with a serious expression. Nuwa just smiled, knowing that Fu Shi was comforting her. But for her, it's not really necessary. With the presence of the humanistic scriptures, she can eventually break through the Hunyuan Golden Immortal. And it definitely won't take too long. Her goal is not to become a Hunyuan Golden Immortal, it's just a transition. Only the demon, the Hunyuan Daluo Jingxian. Only then can one truly transcend the chaos. To unify the wilderness, one needs even higher cultivation. So her current goal is to first break through the Hunyuan Daluo Jingxian. Chapter 4. Declaration of the Three Clans. Cataclysm is imminent. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 4. Declaration of the Three Clans. Cataclysm is imminent. After practicing for many years, I plan to leave the cave and travel through the wilderness for a while. In the cave, Nuwa looked at Fu Shi and spoke. Fu Shi frowned at the words and said in a deep voice, "I know what you mean, little sister. But leaving the cave to explore the wilderness now is not a good thing. The power of the dragon and phoenix tribes is immense in today's flood and famine, basically occupying most of the flood and famine. There are countless strong members of the three ethnic groups, and in the wilderness, all 10,000 ethnic groups were completely suppressed by the three ethnic groups without any fighting power. So it's best not to travel in the wilderness." Even if Nuwa had the cultivation of the Luo Jin Xian in the later period, she was still not impressive in front of the three tribes. There are countless great Luo Golden Immortals among the three tribes. The Hunyuan Golden Immortals have several figures, not to mention the current top powerhouses of Zulong and Zukulin. It can be said that traveling in the wilderness at this time is extremely dangerous. He naturally does not want Nuwa to go out. Nuwa was also aware of these things, and it was precisely because she knew the current tense situation in the flood and famine that she wanted to go out even more. Take this opportunity to see if you can gain something from the Buzhou mountain. This is all to break through the Hunyuan Daluo Jingxian as soon as possible. For Nuwa, every minute and second of time is very important now. Brother, don't worry, I won't have any conflicts with the three tribes. And I'm just traveling for a while to see if I can gain any insights. Nuwa said lightly. Seeing that Nuwa had already made up his mind, although Fu Shi was still worried, he couldn't say anything. The two were talking when suddenly a roar echoed through the sky and earth. "My ancestor dragon, from now on, all creatures like scales and armor will be under the control of our dragon clan. The form of the ancestral dragon is manifested in the void, and its voice spreads throughout the wilderness. The undead volcano is the territory of the Feng tribe. Yuan Feng listened to Zulong's announcement and a cold color flashed in his eyes. Over the years, the power of the three ethnic groups has been constantly growing. There will be a battle between the three tribes sooner or later. Compared to the Kirin and Phoenix tribes, the Dragon tribe has the strongest strength among the three tribes. So of course, she couldn't watch the power of the Dragon clan grow again. Buzz. Under the surging power of the vast magic, Yuan Feng's figure stretched out in the void and said loudly, "From now on, all the birds in heaven and earth will be under the command of the Phoenix clan." On the Qilan cliff, Zhu Qilan's body swelled in the wind. The massive Dharma Buddha stands on the cliff, with colorful glow constantly flashing on his body. He opened his mouth and preached, "All the beasts in heaven and earth are under the command of the Kirin tribe." After the three declared their end, the luck of the three tribes suddenly increased again. The Honghuang 10,000 tribes were also directly divided among the three tribes. This has given the three tribes a lot of strength at once. It also makes the atmosphere between the three ethnic groups more tense. In the cave, listening to the three people's announcement, Nyua's eyes flickered. The power of the three tribes has once again strengthened. This represents that the Dragon Han Cataclysm is not far away. The three tribes will not be satisfied with their current strength, and the conflicts between the three tribes will become more frequent in the future. The flood and famine will also fall into a state of war. The speed of cultivation must be tightened. When the Dragon Han Cataclysm completely erupts, I must have enough strength. Nyua pondered in her heart that the Dragon Han Cataclysm had erupted, and she needed to have at least the cultivation level of a Hunyuan golden immortal. Otherwise, it would be impossible to make any calculations from the catastrophe. Little sister, the three clans' strength has greatly increased after this announcement. I'm afraid the chaos will soon become unsettled. It's too dangerous to go out now. Fuxi had no intention of saying anything more, but after hearing the dynamics of the three tribes, he still earnestly persuaded. He had a premonition that the battle between the three tribes was not far away. With the power possessed by the three tribes, the entire wilderness will become a battlefield. It's too dangerous to leave the cave at this time. Nyua whispered, "Brother, don't worry. With my current cultivation level in the later stage of the Luo Jin Xian, unless I encounter the core figures of the three tribes, the other party will not be able to do anything to me. And I'm not planning to leave too far, just at the foot of Mount Buzhou. I have a premonition that I will have some opportunities and gains on this trip, and I cannot miss this opportunity." Upon hearing this, Fuxi looked helpless, and Nyua had already spoken for this purpose. He naturally has no way to stop it. "How about I go with you?" Fuxi pondered and said. Nyua shook her head and said, "No need. Brother, let's practice in the cave. I'll be back soon." After speaking, she left the cave directly, not because she didn't want to take Fuxi with her, but because Fuxi couldn't set foot on Mount Buzhou. If Fuxi had the cultivation of Hunyuan Jingxian, he could have set foot on Mount Buzhou. Although she has a map of Mount Buzhou in her hand, the map can only shelter one person. Seeing Nyua leave, Fuxi let out a faint sigh. He never knew that his cultivation was too low, and if he followed along, he was afraid it would become a burden for Nyua. He just couldn't rest assured that Nyua would go out alone. Deepening his mind, Fuxi began to continue his cultivation. On this side, Nyua rode against the wind and kept flying towards Mount Buzhou. It has to be said that her luck is still very good. The cave itself is at the foot of Mount Buzhou. Therefore, it won't take too long to reach Mount Buzhou. Looking for flowers, looking for evaluation tickets. If you like it, please provide some data so that the author knows how to add updates. Thank you. Chapter 5. Unable to climb Zhoushan. The harvest is quite fruitful. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 5. Unable to climb Zhoushan. The harvest is quite fruitful. The vast expanse of the wilderness and the vastness of the regions are even greater. There are only 4 directions in the southeast, northwest, and northwest, but the distance between them takes at least 100,000 years to reach. That is to say, if Nyua's cave is in another location, it may take tens of thousands of years to reach Mount Buzhou. If that's the case, Nyua may have to wait until the end of the Dragon Han Cataclysm before she can climb Mount Buzhou and find her own chance. But because the cave was located at the foot of Mount Buzhou, Nyua saved countless rush times. I easily arrived at the foot of Mount Buzhou. Looking up at Mount Buzhou, one can only see large clouds enveloping it, and cannot see what the peaks of Mount Buzhou look like. From the outside, Mount Buzhou looks like a massive mountain. Only by climbing on it can one know how high Mount Buzhou is. Buzz. Without hesitation, Nyua took one step and walked directly up the Buzhou mountain. As soon as she stepped up, a heavy pressure suddenly fell on Nyua. Nyua's footsteps paused, her expression somewhat painful. Pangu's authority is incredibly heavy. She only felt suppressed and lacked the ability to continue taking steps. Is this the power of Pangu's oppression? Nyua was deeply moved in her heart, only to personally experience the pressure of Pangu. Only then can we know how heavy the pressure of Pangu is. No wonder for such a long time, there have been no creatures coveting the heavenly and earthly treasures in Buzhou Mountain. It's not that they don't want it, but that they have no way to obtain it. It's impossible to even climb mountains, let alone search for natural resources and treasures. The only people in the world who can be immune to the pressure of Pangu are those who have a relationship with him. For example, Sanqing, as well as the 12 ancestors of the witch tribe. Sanqing was transformed into the primordial spirit of Pangu, while the 12 ancestral witches were inherited from Pangu's essence and blood. Pangu's oppression had no impact on them. Of course, Nyua also has the ability to resist the pressure of Pangu, but she needs to borrow the power of treasures. Buzz. Flipping the palm, the map of Buzhou Mountain appeared directly in the palm of Nyua's hand, and the mana flowed into it. The map of Buzhou Mountain immediately emitted a faint fluorescence, and the light enveloped Nyua's body. The originally heavy pressure of Pangu suddenly dissipated. Nyua could feel that the pressure of Pangu still existed, but it could no longer have any impact on herself. Trying to step on Mount Buzhou, a smile appeared on Nyua's face. Produced by the system, it must be a masterpiece. It seems that his golden finger is awesome. With the map on, Nyua quickly continued climbing towards the mountain. At this time, there are many light spots on the map of Mount Buzhou, each representing an opportunity. But at this moment, Nyua had no other thoughts in her heart. She came for a few treasures to create humans. As for the other natural resources and treasures, they will be temporarily stored in Buzhou Mountain and will be obtained later. So Nyua didn't waste time and hurried towards a location that appeared on the map. There is the treasure she needs there. How many heavenly and earthly treasures are needed to create a human, namely the 9 heavens and the earth? Sanguang Shen Shui. These 2 treasures are indispensable, and only when these 2 treasures are combined can the human race have extremely high potential and foundation. As long as you obtain these 2 treasures, you can start making people. The more people you create, the more rewards you can receive. Maybe by then, none of the treasures in Mount Buzhou will be able to enter my eyes. Nyua thought of a smile appearing on her face. She kept speeding along the way and encountered many natural treasures along the way. She even felt the top-quality innate spiritual treasure among them. However, she still had no intention of pausing. It's not that I'm not indifferent to top-quality innate spiritual treasures, but that all spiritual treasures must have innate restraint and protection. She doesn't even have a powerful spiritual treasure in her hand now, and breaking through innate restrictions is not an easy task. It is more likely to take a long time and achieve nothing. We can only come back later. Anyway, with the map of Mount Buzhou, many treasures cannot escape my eyes. Nuwa thought to herself and continued flying towards the mountain. She definitely cannot easily obtain those innate spiritual treasures, but she still needs to take away all the fairy grass and spiritual fruits that can be seen easily. Buzz. With a big wave of her hand, Nuwa took away a large tree in front of her, emitting a vigorous spiritual energy. This is an acquired spiritual root. Although the grade is not high, it is also a natural resource and treasure. The natural resources and treasures brought to your door cannot be ignored. By the time Nuwa arrived halfway up the mountain, she had already harvested a lot of spiritual fruits and natural treasures during her trip. It can be said that these gains alone have made her trip worthwhile. According to the records on the map of Mount Buzhou, the birthplace of the gourd vine is located halfway up the mountain. The 9 heavens of land and 3 lights of divine water that she needs are also near the gourd vine. Looking for flowers, looking for evaluation tickets. If you like it, could you please provide some data? Has anyone seen it? Just make a bubble, please. Chapter 6. Harvest the gourd vine. Prepare to make people. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 6. Harvest the gourd vine. Prepare to make people. The pressure of Pangu halfway up the mountain is countless times heavier than at the foot of the mountain. Fortunately, there is a map of Mount Buzhou, which contains the power of systematic rules, making Nuwa completely immune to the pressure of Pangu. If you want to climb halfway up the mountain, Hunyuan Xian may not be able to do it in the later stage. Nuwa sighed in her heart. This is the power of Pangu. Buzhou mountain is nothing but the backbone of Pangu, and has gone through countless years, yet it still contains supreme pressure. The pressure on the mountainside was just so strong, and even the Hunyuan Daluo Jingxian couldn't climb up the mountaintop. I don't know if there are any treasures hidden on the mountaintop. After a moment of contemplation, Nuwa began to search for the target of her trip. At least with the cultivation of the later stage of the Great Luo Golden Immortal, Nuwa began to search everywhere. The spiritual energy halfway up the mountain was very strong, but her eyes only had the treasures needed to create humans. 100 years, 1,000 years. Time keeps passing by. However, Nuwa still did not have any clues. She searched very carefully and did not travel halfway up the mountain for 1,000 years. It seems that more time is needed. Nuwa let out a light sigh and began to continue searching. She has a hint of humanistic power on her body, but this power does not help in finding the innate gourd vine. She can only rely on her own abilities. Fortunately, her mind could be used, although it was greatly restricted, exploration could still be conducted around her body. I don't know how long it has been, but Nuwa frowned. She has basically searched halfway up the mountain, but found nothing. This made her hesitant, as there was still a long time before the birth of the congenital gourd vine. She doesn't have that much time to wait for her birth. Buzz. There was a golden light flickering in Nuwa's eyes, and she decided to explore the location of the cliff carefully. Hard work pays off for those who have a heart, and finally Nuwa felt the unique and mysterious power on a cliff. This indicates that there must be something hidden within the cliff. Nuwa made a direct move, bombarding the cliff with powerful magic. Boom boom. The cliff was directly shattered, and countless mysterious powers quickly rose up. This was truly an innate formation. Nuwa looked surprised, it seemed that what she needed was likely hidden within it. As long as you break through the innate array, you can obtain its treasures. Nuwa scrutinized the innate formation carefully, but she didn't have a powerful magic weapon in her hand. If she wanted to break through an innate formation, she could only rely on her own cultivation to constantly hone it. This was the only way. With both hands pinching the formula, Nuwa unleashed her mana one after another. Many attacks fell on the Xiantian formation, causing countless ripples to surface. But it was not broken. Nuwa was already prepared in her heart and continued to take action. She was ready to exhaust the power of the innate formation. In that way, the innate formation will naturally dissipate. Boom boom. The roaring sound continues to resound between heaven and earth for 30, 50, 70 years. Finally, many cracks appeared on the innate formation, and as Nuwa continued to make moves, these cracks continued to expand. Finally, after 100 years, Nuwa successfully dissipated the last strand of power in the innate formation. Without power, the innate formation disappears directly between heaven and earth. Nuwa was overjoyed at the sight and finally broke through this great formation. Shoo! She was as tall as the wind and flew straight into a cave that appeared before her. In the cave, there is an incredibly rich spiritual energy, and above the mountain wall hangs a verdant vine. There are 7 small green gourds on the vine, each of which emits a faint light. Nuwa looked at the congenital gourd vine with a joyful expression on her face. This is what you need. The congenital gourd vine has already appeared, so what about the 9 heavens and the 3 light divine water? She looked around with her eyes, but did not find the 3 radiances divine water. However, the 9 heavens land was just below the congenital gourd vine. 9 days of soil is a top-notch natural treasure in the wilderness, and a single piece of soil contains infinite power. Without hesitation, Nuwa immediately put away the 9 heavens of the earth, and even the innate gourd vine was not spared. Each of the precious gourds on it is a top-notch innate spiritual treasure. It can be said to be incredibly precious. The innate gourd vine itself is also an excellent innate spiritual root. Having taken away the 9 heavens of earth and the gourd vine, Nuwa was only 3 times closer to the divine water of creation. She was not in a hurry and continued to search around. The growth of the congenital gourd vine is very good, indicating that there must be the 3 lights divine water near the cave. Otherwise, the innate gourd vine cannot have so much power. The innate gourd vine is capable of nurturing 7 top-notch innate spiritual treasures, thanks to the power of the 3 radiances divine water and the 9 heavenly land. Otherwise, relying solely on the level of gourd vine's top-grade innate spiritual treasures, it is impossible to conceive so many top-grade innate spiritual treasures. Nuwa searched around the cave but did not find any trace of the 3 light divine water. She looked around and found that the cave was very deep, with no end at all. Is the 3 light divine water still deeper? Nuwa raised her eyebrows and walked towards the deeper part of the cave. Although there are many spiritual treasures in this cave, it is not a blessed place. But as she delved deeper, Nuwa could feel the spiritual energy in the air becoming even richer. Looking for flowers, looking for evaluation tickets. If you like it, could you please provide some data? Has anyone seen it? Just make a bubble, please. Chapter 7. Start creating people. Rich rewards. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 7. Start creating people. Rich rewards. This indicates that there must be treasures deep in the cave. Nuwa thought to herself, her footsteps were even faster. This long road stretches endlessly, and it took Nuwa several years to hear the sound of the stream in her ears. At the same time, the spiritual energy between heaven and earth became very rich. Nuwa was delighted in her heart, and the 3 lights divine water she was looking for was likely right in front of her. Hurry up, and soon a small stream appeared in front of Nuwa. This small stream does indeed have the 3 lights divine water, but its quantity is not very large. The flowing part of the creek is ordinary water flow, but the small pool at the top of the creek is filled entirely with 3 light divine water. Although the quantity is not very large, it is already enough for me to make people. With a wave of her palm, Nuwa collected all the 3 light divine water. In this way, she has all the necessary natural resources and treasures for creating humans. This little 3 light divine water won't last long, but she knows other places as well. Amidst the vast and boundless sea, there are the 3 Immortals Island, which are 3 top-notch paradise sites. Ingzhou Island, Fangzhang Island, and Penglai Island. There is a large amount of three lights divine water in the Three Immortals Island. Sanqing Island has a great reputation, but no one has ever found it. So Nyuwa could only postpone it. Anyway, the three lights divine water in her hand was definitely enough to make the first batch of people. After obtaining enough, Nyuwa left halfway up the mountain. Flying all the way to the foot of the mountain, Nyuwa found a safe place, pinched the formula with both hands, and used her great divine power to isolate heaven and earth, setting up a barrier. After isolating herself from the outside world, she was ready to start making people out of clay. The congenital gourd on the congenital gourd vine is not yet mature, so it must not be used as a whip. So Nyuwa can only use her own hands to pinch people. Mixing the three radiances divine water with the 9 heavens and earth, Nyuwa exerted her magic, and a small figure quickly appeared in her palm. Shoo! With a flick of the finger, the little person landed directly on the ground. With the 9 heavens of land and the 3 radiances of divine water, the little people squeezed out are not weak in both talent and potential. Ding! Congratulations to the host for successfully pinching people and receiving the first pinching reward. Obtain the top. Quality innate spiritual treasure. Baoyan lamp. A hint came in her ear, and Nyuwa's expression was filled with joy. Baoyan lamp. This is a powerful spiritual treasure. I didn't expect to just start pinching people and directly obtain a spiritual treasure. The natural resources and treasures in her hand should be enough to hold 3,000 innate human beings. This is just the first one to start rewarding. Isn't there more rewards in the future? Nyuwa didn't waste time and continued to pinch the second person. Soon the second little person fell to the ground. Congratulations to the host's offspring +1, reward. 10,000 years of immortal power cultivation. 10,000 years of magical power were bestowed upon her body, which strengthened Nyuwa's aura even more. Sure enough, it's as I guessed. This is my qualification to take off. Nyuwa sighed and continued to pinch people. The system prompt sound in the ear also began to ring continuously. Congratulations to the host's offspring +2. Reward. 10,000 years of divine consciousness cultivation. Congratulations to the host's heir +3, reward. 10,000 years of cultivation. Nyuwa was surprised and didn't expect the rewards to be so diverse. Her divine consciousness and physical body have become even stronger now. The combat power has increased several times in a straight line. If she continues to improve like this, she may be invincible within the same realm. After all, these rewards have helped her improve in all aspects. It is not something that can be compared to ordinary innate abilities. And only 3 people were created, and when more people were created, she would receive better rewards. Congratulations to the host's offspring +100, reward. Martial Arts Manual. 1 Chi Lucky Golden Dragon. Nyuwa continuously created humans, constantly improving her all-round abilities. When it was time to build 100 people, the reward that Nyuwa received finally changed. Looking at the martial arts manual, Nyuwa was pleasantly surprised. This martial arts manual is a cultivation technique that is very suitable for the human race. The cultivation of martial arts scriptures by the human race is more in line with the practice of the 3,000 great avenues, which can quickly enhance the foundation of the human race. The Chi Luck Golden Dragon can provide shelter for the human race, which is equivalent to enhancing the human race's Chi luck. With the protection of Chi, the human race's ability to practice and avoid disasters can be greatly improved. Both of these things can make the human race stronger. And this is just the reward that the 100th person received. It's already so good. If we continue to move forward and wait for ourselves to create thousands of people, won't the rewards be even more incredible? Except for these 2 treasures, Nyuwa did not claim the magic and divine knowledge accumulated from the previous creation of humans. Hundreds of people have accumulated millions of years of cultivation. Among them, the cultivation of immortal power, divine consciousness, and physical cultivation each have a duration of 330,000 years. Hunyuan did not continue to create humans, but planned to merge the accumulated cultivation of millions of years first. 1,000,000 years of cultivation is enough to elevate her realm to the next level. The stronger the cultivation, the easier it is to create a person. This is a healthy growth. Looking for flowers, looking for evaluation tickets. If you like it, could you please provide some data? Has anyone seen it? Just make a bubble, please. Chapter 8. Breakthrough again. Humanistic recovery. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 8. Breakthrough again. Humanistic recovery. All kinds of cultivation have accumulated to 330,000 years, which is a very astonishing number. Hunyuan has started to look forward to what she can achieve after integrating these cultivation levels. She is already in the later stage of the cultivation of the Luo Jin Xian, and with the blessing of many cultivation achievements, she should be able to go further. Start merging. Hunyuan claimed all the rewards in one breath. In the next moment, her divine consciousness was immediately expanded, and at the same time, her cultivation was constantly bursting out, and her entire aura was constantly improving. Boom boom. The vast momentum surged into the sky, and Hunyuan's cultivation also directly surpassed the peak of the golden immortal of the great Luo. Because she is constantly improving in all aspects, which makes her foundation very rich. Even the peak of the great Luo golden immortal in the same realm cannot be her opponent. If she could master another powerful treasure, her combat power would be even more terrifying. What delighted Hunyuan the most was not the improvement of her cultivation, but because of the creation of the human race, the humanity between heaven and earth began to move. She holds a strand of humanitarian power, which is constantly trembling at this moment. Is it necessary for humanity to recover in advance? If that's the case, wouldn't I be able to become a spokesperson for humanity soon? Hunyuan's beautiful eyes flickered, her expression filled with surprise. She didn't expect that there would be such benefits in creating people in advance. At this time, neither the heavenly Tao nor the earthly Tao have yet to recover in the flood and famine. Once humanity recovers in advance, the power of humanity will always be above the earthly Tao and the heavenly Tao in the future. The three levels are the same, but which one recovers first will have stronger power. Moreover, nowadays the human race has been created, and as the human race becomes stronger, humanity will also become stronger along with it. Boom boom. A roar echoed through the vast expanse of the boundless sky, and in the next moment, the immense power of humanity crazily gathered together. The power of humanity manifested itself in the void, and it continued to rise. In a blessed cave in the east, Hongjun looked at the sky with a shocked expression. The power of humanity. How could humanity revive at such a time? What exactly happened here? I am still trying to comprehend the power of the heavenly way. Surprisingly, someone has already mastered the power of humanity. Hongjuan's expression was uncertain, and he did not expect that there were still people in the world who had the same thoughts as himself. Even if it is to become a saint through preaching, it is difficult to surpass a saint without the power of the three paths. His initial goal was to go up towards the sage. I just didn't expect someone to take this step before him now. He did not consider those innate beings, those born between heaven and earth. At most, they are only Tai golden immortals, and there are not many Daoyuo golden immortals. Not to mention being able to comprehend the power of humanity. Not those innate creatures, this person is either a strong member of the three tribes, or a chaotic demon god hidden in the wilderness. Who could it be? Buzz. Hongjun offered a jade plate for creation, and with his own cultivation, he quickly discovered the center of the vibration of his breath. Opening his eyes, his expression became increasingly complex. Zhoushan. The breath of humanity originates from Mount Buzhou. For these chaotic demon gods, Buzhou mountain has extremely complex meanings. Pangu, did you still stay behind and not succeed in taking action back then? Hongjun let out a light sigh, but he wanted to go and see who had mastered the power of humanity. But with his cultivation, he cannot set foot on Mount Buzhou. So we can only let it go. Anyway, it won't be long before he can master the power of the heavenly way, and then he won't be afraid of humanity at all. Thinking of Hongjun starting to fully cultivate, he plans to quickly grasp the power of the heavenly way. To prevent such unexpected events from happening again. In the Western world, Jianhua Mountain is the location of the dojo of the demon ancestor Luo. At this moment, Luo Ting also felt the vibration of the power of humanity. This made him look a bit ugly. Surprisingly, someone in heaven and earth has mastered the power of humanity. The power and potential of the three realms of heaven, earth, and man are very strong. Mastering one of them can be said to be an effortless task of practicing the mixed elements of Taoism. It's not difficult to attain higher levels of enlightenment. To master this power, having strength alone is not enough. Luo Ting pondered in his heart that the strong men of the three tribes were all focused on competing for the dominant position in the wilderness. So it is impossible to master the power of the three paths. So only those chaotic demons hidden in the wilderness. Once my plan is completed, I will have the power to destroy everything. Even if it's just 3 ways, how about it? I can't stop myself. A glimmer of sharpness flashed in Luo Ting's eyes as he had already decided on his future path. Sandao is very strong, but once he completes the layout, even Sandao cannot stop him. He plans to emerge from the new life with destruction, and after destroying everything, he will condense his fortune and become a saint in one step. This is also the most suitable method for his enlightenment and sanctification. As long as he preaches in advance, there will be no one in the world who can stop him. At that time, the entire wilderness will fall under his control, and the three paths can only bow down and pay homage. The power of humanity is constantly surging in the wilderness. Humanity refers to the creatures of the wilderness. Not only on the human side, but also on the behalf of humanity. Looking for flowers, looking for evaluation tickets. If you like it, could you please provide some data? Has anyone seen it? Just make a bubble, please. Chapter 9. Hunyuan Mounts. 3 Ethnic Disputes. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 9. Hunyuan Mounts. 3 Ethnic Disputes. Therefore, when the power of humanity spread throughout the entire flood, many living beings were blessed with the power of humanity. Originally, it was not yet time to transform, but with the help of humanity, one by one successfully transformed into the world. These are naturally human beings who have been blessed by the power of humanity. Their birth will also make humanity stronger and stronger. This is a complementary process and the fundamental source of the three forces. The awakening of humanity is because Nuwa created the human race ahead of time. Therefore, after the awakening of humanity was elevated, Nuwa also received rewards for the power of humanity. Buzz. A large amount of humanitarian power was exerted on Nuwa, and her cultivation began to continuously improve. She was originally the pinnacle of the cultivation of the golden immortal of Dalao. At this moment, under the surging power of humanity, the 3 golden flowers above Nuwa's head suddenly gathered together. I don't know how long it has been, but the 3 golden flowers have completely disappeared, and Nuwa's cultivation has directly broken through to the early stage of the Hunyuan golden immortal. A majestic momentum rose from her. Nuwa is very happy. The cultivation of the Hunyuan golden immortal is also considered a top powerhouse in the current flood and wilderness. The chaos demon gods such as Luo Yan and Hongjun are only in the later stage of the Hunyuan golden immortal period. The chiefs of the 3 tribes are only in this cultivation. With the cultivation of the Hunyuan golden immortal, she can roam freely in the wilderness. Moreover, her foundation is even more solid than other Hunyuan golden immortals, as she has been comprehensively improved. Stabilize your cultivation for a while longer. Nyuwa thought to herself, continuing to operate the Humanity Sutra and solidify her cultivation. After practicing for a period of time and feeling that her cultivation was no longer fluctuating, Nyuwa continued to create humans. The 3 radiances divine water and 9 heavenly realms continue to merge together, with each clay figurine continuously falling to the ground, transforming into small living beings. Congratulations to the host's offspring plus 101, reward. 10,000 years of immortal power cultivation. Congratulations to the host's offspring plus 102, reward. 10,000 years of divine consciousness cultivation. Congratulations to the host's offspring plus 500, reward. 1 Hunyuan mount. When the offspring arrived at 500 people, the reward finally changed and became a mount reward. Nyuwa's eyes were bright, and she herself was the cultivation of the Hunyuan Golden Immortal. I didn't expect to get a hybrid level mount. I just don't know what race it is. Without much thought, Nyuwa opened the gift package and in an instant, the light flickered all over the sky. After the light dissipated, a vermilion bird with a chaotic aura appeared in place. At a glance, Nyuwa recognized the creature in front of her, which was a mixed world vermilion bird. Although only a young body, it has extraordinary bloodline and considerable combat power. Once you grow up, you will have genuine mixed cultivation skills. It can be said that there is infinite potential. Nyuwa looked at the mixed world vermilion bird and was very satisfied with it. The mounts at the level of Hunyuan are only eligible for the existence of saints in the entire wilderness. But now there is no saint in the world. I also belong to being far ahead of others. In the future, there will be many things that you don't need to do by yourself. It's enough to let the wandering vermilion bird handle them. The mixed world vermilion bird has infinite potential, and perhaps there is still room for improvement. Nyuwa asked the Huncher vermilion bird to wait for her on the side, with a smile on her face. The rewards given by 500 people are not many, but the total amount is still quite considerable. She has accumulated a lot of strength and has not yet received it. And this is just the beginning. The current 500 human race are all shaped by Nyuwa. These 500 people have already brought Nyuwa a cultivation of 10,000 yuan per person. When the human race continues to exist and gives birth to more and more creatures in the future, it will not be a combination of hundreds or even hundreds. At least it's millions, millions, billions. Once the human race becomes the protagonist in the vast world, the number will be endless. The rewards will definitely be more than that. Perhaps a reward would make Nyuwa become a saint in place. Thinking that Nyuwa didn't pause, she continued to pinch people. The more the first group of human beings there are, the more they will reproduce in the future, and the more rewards they will receive. It just takes some time. Nyuwa continued to crazily create people, but as for external affairs, she didn't care at all. In the boundless sea, many strong members of the dragon clan gather together. Zulong sat high in his position, his eyes fixed on the numerous powerful individuals below. The Feng and Chilan tribes have not been very stable these years, he said in a deep voice. Surprisingly, they want to compete with my dragon clan. I really don't know what to do. Send orders to all the creatures of the dragon clan. Whenever they encounter the Kirin clan and the Phoenix clan, they will directly take action. Numerous dragon clan powerhouses agreed with excited expressions one by one. The dragon clan was originally the strongest among the 3 tribes, with vast and boundless waters, many of which were subservient to the dragon clan. As Zulong's command was conveyed, the flood and famine began to fluctuate. The battles between the 3 tribes continued to erupt in various parts of the wilderness. More and more creatures are dying and injured in it, which makes many people realize that the flood and famine may not be peaceful anymore. Looking for flowers, looking for evaluation tickets. If you like it, could you please provide some data? Has anyone seen it? Just make a bubble, please. Chapter 10. Storm is coming. Obtain rewards from the God of Creation. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 10. Storm is coming. Get rewards for creating divine thunder. In addition to the 3 tribes, there are also 10,000 tribes in the world. The Yuan ethnic group is also a carefree side in the wilderness, but with the joint efforts of the 3 ethnic groups, this makes the Yuan ethnic group somewhat uneasy. But their power is simply unable to compete with that of all ethnic groups. There are countless tribes who are not afraid of death and do not regard the 3 tribes in their eyes, resulting in being easily cleaned up. This made countless strong people tremble for it. Only 3 tribes can compete against each other in the world. The power they possess is simply too strong. The Dragon Clan has the strongest power among the 3 tribes, right? There are too many races in the boundless sea. Yeah, but the Dragon Clan is acting too arrogantly. I heard that both the Qilan clan and the Feng clan have suffered a lot. The continuous struggle among the 3 tribes has caused countless creatures in the world to discuss it one after another. Many innate abilities are closed and unable to emerge one by one. Unwilling to walk in the wilderness. To avoid provoking the strong of the 3 tribes and causing one's own demise. The strength of the 3 tribes made countless strong people tremble. We can only allow the 3 tribes to compete against each other in the wilderness. Undead Volcano, the territory of the Phoenix tribe. Yuan Feng's pretty face was covered in frost, and over the years, the Dragon Clan had been constantly suppressing the Phoenix clan. As a result, the Feng tribe suffered many deaths and injuries to powerful individuals. This made Yuan Feng very angry, but there was no good way. The foundation of the Phoenix tribe is weaker than that of the Dragon tribe itself. Clan leader, perhaps we can collaborate with the Kirin clan. Let's deal with the Dragon clan together, and once we've dealt with the Dragon clan, we'll determine the winner. A strong member of the Phoenix tribe spoke up. Yuan Feng's eyes flickered and he said coldly, the Dragon clan has a strong foundation, but the Qilan clan is not a good match either. When our clan is unable to compete with the Dragon clan, let's consider cooperating with the Kirin clan again. The 3 races all want to dominate the vast world alone, how could they possibly want to cooperate with other races? Yuan Feng also has confidence in this, and with the heritage of the Feng tribe, he will eventually be able to conquer the world. Seeing that Yuan Feng had already made a decision, the strong members of the Feng tribe didn't say much. The ancestor Qilan of the Qilan tribe also summoned the strong members of the Qilan tribe, and the final conclusion reached was the same as that of the Feng tribe. Unless it is a joint effort between the Phoenix and Qilan tribes, it is really difficult to be a match for the Dragon tribe. The Dragon clan is very powerful, both in terms of physical body and talent. The only thing that the Dragon tribe is easy to deal with is that the true dragon bloodline is not very many, and the dragon nature is inherently lustful, so most dragon tribes belong to mixed race. Having interactions with many races, these secondary dragons are much weaker in both strength and potential compared to real dragons. Most dragons in the Dragon clan are derived from dragons, not true dragons. This is also why the Kirin and Phoenix tribes can compete against the Dragon tribe. Not at the foot of the mountain, in the cave. Fushi had a worried expression on his face. It had been a long time since Nyuwa left the cave, but she had not returned. Nowadays, the 3 tribes outside are constantly at war, and it can be said that they are in turmoil. Having Nyuwa alone outside for so long, he couldn't rest assured. No way. I have to go out and find my little sister. Fushi pondered for a moment and decided to leave the cave. Otherwise, he wouldn't be able to rest assured in the cave alone. After leaving the cave, he began to search everywhere for the trace of Nyuwa. Nyuwa said she won't go far, so she must be near Mount Buzhou. On Mount Buzhou, Nyuwa is still constantly making humans. Time is very important to her now. The more people she creates, the more benefits she can gain. The faster the strength will improve. Shoo, shoo. One by one, the clay figures kept falling to the ground, while the system's warning sound kept ringing in their ears. Congratulations to the host's offspring plus 1000, reward. Divine Thunder of Creation. A happy expression appeared on Nyua's face, and she didn't expect that even 1,000 people could receive rewards beyond cultivation. God of Creation Thunder. This is one of the 10 most terrifying divine thunder in the wilderness. The most terrifying among the top 10 divine thunder is the destructive divine thunder. The heavenly Tao uses the god of destruction thunder when it lands a heavenly curse on a certain creature. Although the divine thunder power of creation is not as strong as that of destruction, it is not much weaker. If it can be controlled, it will become one of the strongest means of attack in Nyua's hands. Nyua immediately began to comprehend the divine thunder of creation, and all the insights given by the system were complete. She only needed to absorb them to successfully comprehend. With the continuous understanding of the divine thunder of creation, infinite thunder appeared densely throughout Nyua's body, and her hair was also completely erect. Buzz. She suddenly opened her eyes, and saw thunder flickering in them, filled with many creative powers. This is the successful realization of the divine thunder of creation. The palm is spread out, and the divine thunder of creation is directly manifested in the palm. The power of thunder is incredibly powerful, but the power of creation carries endless power within it. The fusion of two different powers, one destruction and one rebirth, makes the power of the divine thunder of creation astonishing. Nyua was very satisfied with the power of the god of creation thunder. This is even more terrifying than ordinary supernatural powers. At this moment, there was still some of the 3 radiances divine water and 9 heavenly realms that she possessed. Without hesitation, Nyua continued to constantly pinch people. Looking for flowers, looking for evaluation tickets. If you like it, could you please provide some data? Has anyone seen it? Just make a bubble, please.